Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Today we are going to dive into our setup series for quarter two. So today we're going to set up my well-being planner, which I call Planner Joy, and our goals planner. So we have two planners to set up, and yeah, that's what we're going to do. So this is actually the first planner I'm setting up for quarter two in my lineup, but it's probably one of the last videos that you'll see as far as the setup series. So that's a little interesting, but I am going to say I am so excited to set up my planners for quarter two. I don't know why I'm so excited this year, but I just am. And so I think maybe just trying to get a fresh start. Whatever the case may be, I'm ready for it. So let's dive right in. So this is my Planner Joy planner, and I use this planner to actually do setups for body, soul, mind, and heart. So it includes my wellness, my fitness, my health, my creative planner, all of that. So let's get right into it. I set this planner up 1 month at a time. So the beginning of my planner has all of my intro pages, like my annual pages. I don't change those from month to month. So technically this isn't a quarter two setup. This is just a monthly setup if I'm being real with you, because I only set this up 1 month at a time. But I did make some changes to the layouts for this planner. So as far as quarter two, I specifically made them for quarter two. But basically, when I update this planner, I just change out the pages for the months. I redecorate, or I decorate a new tab. And that's about it. So let's get right into that and talk about some of the changes I made for quarter two. So these are all the inserts that I'm going to put in for the month of April. So I need to take out inserts that are in here for the month of March. And when I take inserts out of my well-being planner, I put them in my overflow planner. I have February in here, as you can see. And so everything I take out, I will put in this planner. So let's start by removing existing inserts before putting in the new ones. So I'm going to leave the divider in here to the end. And I leave my dashboard with my word of the year in here. But everything else I take out. So this is my monthly. I will go ahead and take that out. This is my body section, which has a dashboard that introduces this section. I leave that. I am going to take everything out of my monthly section for the month of March. And then in my soul section, same, I have a dashboard, and then I have my soul pages, which I don't have to take out because I really didn't use these for the month of March. So I'm going to leave these in here for April so that I don't have to replace them. But yeah, typically I would take these out and replace it. And then in my mind section, this is where I do my learning and exploring, like creativity work. And so I also put in a Planner Joy workbook each month. And so these are just kind of like themed planner inserts that I typically make available on my Etsy so that you guys can participate as well. But I put them under my mind section. And so for March, the theme was decluttering and spring cleaning. So I'm going to go ahead and take these out. I actually liked some of these inserts so much that I'm going to keep them in my annual section. But as far as the monthly setup, I'm going to go ahead and remove them. Okay, so that is now taken out. And then I also have a creative section in this planner. So in the mind section of this well-being planner. So what I am going to do here is take out some of the pages for the creative section and put them in my overflow planner, because I am needing to save space. This creative section is probably the thickest section of my planner, and it's just taking up too much room, and it's nothing but really blank pages. So I'm going to take a lot of these out and put them in my overflow so that I can just grab them as I need them. I'm going to leave a few in, but most I'm going to take out. All of the lettering practice pages I'm going to go ahead and take out, because I printed new lettering pages for Q2, and so I'm excited to use those. So those older pages I'm removing. Okay, and I'm also going to remove several of my blank layouts. I have these in here just so I can, like, you know, explore, be creative, play with spreads, play with stickers, and I just don't need quite as many sitting in the book. I may use a lot of them, but I can grab them as I need them. So I'm only going to keep a couple, and then the rest of them I'm going to take out and put in my overflow as well. This way, it's going to give me a little bit of space in this planner, which is going to be really important, because one of the reasons I only set up 1 month at a time is that I'm trying to save space so that my planner isn't so thick. So then in the heart section, that's where I do my memory keeping, and I use inserts from Light's Planner Action, and actually their memory keeping inserts are for a season. So this actually goes through May, so I'm pretty good with that, because it goes like winter, spring, summer, and fall. So I obviously am in spring, so it's going to go March, April, and May, and then I'll change these out in May. So we're good to go there. Okay, so now that we have this cleared out, let me take a moment, move this one to the side, and put all of those inserts that I removed, put them into my storage planner. And this is just where I keep, like I said before, the prior month's inserts. So my creative pages, I'm going to skip those for now, because I'll probably put some of those in my overflow. And I'll tell you the difference in just a minute. Let me put these in here. But yeah, these are going to be all my March inserts. One reason you want to have an overflow plan, not overflow, this is not overflow, this is like a storage one. One reason you want to have a planner where you store your inserts for the prior month is that that way at the end of the year you can go back and see all of your inserts for that planner, and you don't have to keep them in your planner and your planner gets so thick that you can't use it because you have 12 full months in there. But this way I can go ahead and at the end of the year put everything back together, and it's gonna work just fine. Okay, so let me grab my tab for March and put that in here. And now I've put all of my inserts for February and March in my storage planner. So I'll just put that to the side. This is my overflow planner. I'll use this through several of my setups for Q2. What I do here is I keep my extra inserts for the upcoming months. In this case, I have several different planners in here. And then I just grab what I need as I'm setting up my planner for the next month or the next quarter, whatever the case may be. So for this month, all I need to grab for my well-being, because I have some inserts that have changed, I need to grab my monthly layout. And I'm going to grab one of these white cardstock dividers. That's really all I need for my well-being planner out of my setup planner. Okay, so let's go ahead and put in the white cardstock divider. Now, I do decorate this divider, and I will do that in this video. And then we are going to go to our calendar, which I put it right after my dashboard. All right, so this will be my April divider. Then I go into my word of the year dashboard, which I keep, and then I go into my monthly calendar. And then in my body section, remember guys, this is where I said I put in my health and fitness. So now we're getting into the changes that I made for quarter 2. Let's talk about that. Okay, so these are all of my health and fitness, wellness, all of these inserts. And they're going to go in my body section. So this looks very similar to how I had it set up for quarter 1. For quarter 2, though, I have my month overview. That is the same. I go directly into my wellness wheel. This is a new page for quarter 2, and that's the Glow Up Monthly Tracker. So I wanted to keep track of my Glow Up goals each month. So, and glow up is just like things that you want to do to make yourself feel more special and more beautiful and more whatever that means to you. But you can track that. And so this is a monthly tracker, so it's set up so that you can have a goal for the month and track it each week and check off whether or not it is done. And then you can rate your month and all of that. And then we have a meal planner. So this layout, these inserts are new for me for quarter 2. Some of these I tested at the end of quarter 1, which I'm excited about. And they worked really well. So I decided to roll out a Q2 version of this self-care planner. So then I go directly into my physical fitness trackers for the week, or layouts for the week, which is double-sided. Goes Monday through Sunday with a spot for weekly reflections, and then I get into my week in review. So this is a new page as well for me. I tested it, I think, the end of Q1. So I do that for 5 weeks because, like I said, I set this planner up monthly. So this just repeats. And then at the end of the month, I have a self-care ritual. Before I get to the end of the month, though, I didn't tell you this. The second page in the week after the fitness section is the weekend review just from self-care. So I've made a few changes to this weekend review. I used to have a habit tracker up here. I have removed that habit tracker. You have a space to list any self-care habits you want to track, and there are some suggested self-care activities on the back, which could be part of your glow up. That's why I call this a glow up tracker as well. The difference between this glow up tracker and the one at the month is that you get this glow up tracker every week. So you're tracking certain activities that you do each week, and you have space to write any activity that you want. These are suggested. And then you can write whatever you want, and then you can track that each day during the week. And so each week, as you can see, each week has that. So that's how that correlates to the monthly. At the end of the month, I just have some information about self-care rituals. These are just things that you do recurrently throughout the month that can help with your self-care. Again, there are suggestions, and there's an open box so that you can, create whatever ritual you want. And then kind of the same, you have some open boxes down here where you can list what are your morning rituals, what are your afternoon rituals, and what are your evening rituals. Okay, we have a monthly habit tracker for self-care habits, a monthly tracker for health and fitness. The way I use this is I actually take my blood sugar in the morning, afternoon, and evening. So I put those numbers here. You can do your weight. You can track how much you're drinking, you know, how you're hydrating, your vitamins, your medicine, whatever. It's very flexible, but it's set up for tracking throughout the entire month. And then we have a place where you can reflect. And then we have a 30-day self-care challenge. And then we have a stress buster, which is just evaluating, did you feel stressed at any point during that month? Or I actually use this when I feel stressed. I come in here and it just kind of helps me work through some of my stress. So I just have a couple in each month. And that is the monthly setup. So we're going to go ahead and put this in here. And again, this is my well-being planner, which I always set up 1 month at a time. We are going into quarter 2, so I decided to go ahead and make some changes and updates to these inserts. This self-care planner insert is probably my favorite insert. I've said that before. I think it's just so beautiful. It's my favorite set that I've designed, and I need to use it more often than I do because I absolutely adore it. Very useful. Okay, so that is my body section. Now we are going to get into soul, which like I said before, it has my planner joy, and it has my I would say probably self-improvement, faith journaling, spirituality journaling. So I need to go in and put my planner joy for the month of April. Now for me, I have decided to use the theme of glowing up. So this is focusing on doing a wardrobe refresh, specifically building a capsule wardrobe. And so that is what the theme of the April Planner Joy is about. And my motto for April is, you are beautiful today as you are. And what I mean by that is we start the new year with all type of goals, right? We're going to hydrate. We're going to do skincare. We're going to set routines. We're going to go to the gym. We're going to lose 20 pounds. And those are great. It's great to have goals. I have them too. Some of those things I met those goals, and some of those things I didn't. Most I didn't. But I think it's also important to remember that even with those goals, those well-being goals and those physical goals and those self-improvement goals, that you are beautiful just as you are. Today, in this moment, you are gorgeous. You are a gorgeous individual, and to celebrate that. And so that's why I wanted to make the April theme be about glowing up. And so not necessarily making these sweeping changes to yourself, but taking where you are and embracing that. And so I thought, for me, I wanted to do a wardrobe refresh, and that's what gave me the idea for this. So I'm going to be building a capsule wardrobe the month of April. So these inserts are all about how you go about building a capsule wardrobe, some tips to do that, and some lists if you need to make list of items to buy. And then we have a guide, a step-by-step guide where you can reflect on your personal style, what colors you prefer, and then kind of start building your capsule wardrobe. So this is the Planner Joy for the month of April. These inserts will be freely available, linked down below, because a lot of this information is not from me. I had to do some research to find this information, and so I have left the credit line on all of these pages, or I've added the credit line if it wasn't there. Like, for example, determining how many items you need for your capsule wardrobe. That blog post was from Nordstrom. So I've tried to give credit where credit is due. And because this information is not coming from me, this is not original content from me, this is not something that I am going to put on Etsy, but I do want to make it available to you. It will be linked down below as a free download. And then this capsule wardrobe planner, I will link to the website, so Classy Yet Trendy, that actually has this planner that you can download for free. So that is what it looks like for my soul section. Now we're going to get to the mind section, which, like I said, is all about learning and exploring. So for me, I've been focusing on my creative expression, and I love to play with markers. I like to doodle. I like to draw. One thing that I've really been trying to practice is my hand lettering, because I'm really horrible at that. And so for Q2, that is going to be a big focus of mine. So I found these great inserts, and I just printed them off and decided to make these available in my mind section of my well-being planner. And so I can come in here and practice these lessons whenever I want. I got this from Creative Fabrica. And Creative Fabrica is a subscription platform where you can have access to all types of things. And I have an annual subscription. I will put the link down below if you're interested in subscribing to Creative Fabrica. And then they have a ton of resources, but this is where I found that. So this is my well-being planner for April, which is the first month in Q2. So the next thing that we want to do is go ahead and decorate my divider for the month. I'm gonna try to do this, fairly quick, which I always say that, and I don't do that. But when I decorate these dividers, I try to use my scrapbook paper. So I have a scrapbook pad that is really one of the current scrapbook pads from Michaels, like their current spring 2025. So you definitely can go pick this up if you're interested. But I've already flipped through and found some of the pages that I'm going to use. This is a lovely book. I bought this particular book because I liked how whimsical the flowers were. So I chose this page. And then I also chose this page to go with it. You see, y'all, I'm trying to be much better and be more prepared. And I chose this page. By actually planning what some of this is supposed to look like. Now, I may go in here and pull out one of these border pages. I don't know yet. I haven't decided that, but we'll see, because they do have some really pretty borders in here. Okay, but for now, this is what I chose to work with, along with the Jess Miller Draws Happy Planner book, Year to Grow. I do think this was a part of like Happy Planner's teacher collection. And so I really like how the stickers in here are very whimsical. So it fits kind of like the theme of this paper. And so I'll probably end up primarily using just some of the quotes from this book because it just kind of fits with the look and feel. So let's get started. I have 3 pages. And I think what I'm going to do is use this page for the front, possibly with a few of these cutouts, and then just make a collage of these cutouts on the back with some of the scraps from this page as borders and some of the stickers from the Jess Plans book. So let me get started by cutting out this corner piece. And I'm going to put it right here. I think that's going to look lovely. Now, I usually tear my scrapbook paper, but because this is a little bit of like an actual design, I'm going to try to cut it. I'm going to try to fussy cut it. I'm not going to do a fussy cut to the point where I'm going around every little piece. But, I'm going to do more than if I just ripped it. Which ripping is great because you get to see the white core of the paper. But again, I want to kind of just get this entire image. So you see, I'm fussy cutting, but not to the point where I'm so super concerned about having a white border. It's intended to be a little rustic. Okay, that looks good. And then I'm gonna cut out, I'm gonna do the same with the butterflies at the top, because I'm gonna use it at the top of this divider. Great. Love that. So it bent just a little bit, bent right here. So the way we're going to do this is we're just going to put this right here, and see, that takes up like the entire page really. And then we're going to put this one right there. And so we just need some of our tape runner. This one's going to be pretty straightforward, guys. I'm excited about it. I bought this paper pack, like I said, because I love the whimsical flowers, and I was just really waiting on an opportunity to use it. And the pages were so pretty. I didn't want to kind of use it and then throw it away. I wanted to use it on something that I was going to keep, and I do intend to keep all of these dividers that I'm making for my well-being. I tend to not put the months on there. I did for April, and I'll probably eventually take that off because I would like to reuse these from year to year. Okay, so look at that. I just think that's so gorgeous. Now what I thought I could do is possibly get one of these, but I don't think I think this is going to be too big. I don't think I need any. Let me go ahead and put some tape on this one so that it sticks down. There we go. So I don't think I need one of those cutouts. I feel like a couple of quotes from the Jess Miller's draws will wrap this up. So I'm just going to look for a few quotes out of this book. I love these, but I don't like the blue background. Okay, so I think I like these. I like this Wild and Free. Let's see. Let me keep looking. Create something beautiful every day. Living the sweet life. I really like living the sweet life. And I feel like that may go right here really well. So this is a possibility for sure. And there are a few more in here. So you can tell this book was really kind of intended to be a teacher book. But if you've, well, I used to be a teacher. That's a fun fact. I used to teach 4th grade. I will say this, as a teacher, you do so much seasonally that a lot of teacher books are just by nature, they're seasonal books. Because that's just kind of how teachers plan their year. That's how they decorate their classroom, their, you know, hallway, whiteboard, all that good stuff. It's so seasonally driven. So that's why you end up with a ton of seasonal things in teacher books. I love that. I feel like it's perfect to go this way. Yeah, and I think that's what I'm going to do. So, inspire. And then I think I'm going to use grow up here where there's really no green here. Let's see. Let me look at that other page and see what type of supporting. I think what I like are these little flowers right here across the top. So we're just going to follow the same format that they're already in. You know, I am not the most creative person. I love decorative planning. I find it relaxing. I think I've said this before. So for me, kind of learning how to use these sticker books was very important for me. For me to do well with placing stickers. A lot of times you don't have to think when you're doing your stickers. The sticker book is going to do the work for you if you just let it do the work for you. So if you are a beginner, that's a tip from me to you, from someone who is not the most creative person in the world. A lot of times these sticker books will kind of be set up in a way that all you really have to do is follow the pattern of the sticker. You know what I mean? And once you do that, you will have a pretty nice layout. So that is what I am attempting to do here. So that went over just a little bit. I could try and bring it down. Let's see. Yeah, it's coming up. Okay. So I just want to maybe bring this down right here. I want it to kind of, there we go. All right, so I like that. I do feel like something belongs here. So I am going to take a flower and put it here. Now, what I will say about a lot of spring books that I tend to get from a lot of places, not just Happy Planner, is that I'm not a fan of all these boots and stuff like that. That's just not my vibe. But I get that a lot of people are, so I don't want to judge it too harshly. But yeah, boots are just very, very, very common. And again, it's just not my particular vibe. Okay, but I love this. I think it's very floral. It's very pretty. It's very springy, and that is definitely what I was going for. And so, oh, I really need to clean these scissors. Let me just trim off a couple of the overhang. And then I'm going to come in and punch this after I'm finished. So this takes care of the front. Now in the back, I'm actually going to take these cut aparts and probably some of this. I'm going to tear it this time and use this scrap as borders. So that way I can get some of the really nice kind of scalloped edge border on here. So I'm just going to go ahead and start tearing it. Right, and so let me just tear this a little bit more because I don't want this to finish like that, and it still did, but that's okay. And then I'm going to put it right here, and this is going to just kind of bridge the gap from the front to the back cover. Okay, I think I'm just about out. Yep. So let me grab a new one. I get these from Amazon, guys. And they're no name. Don't get me wrong. They're not like Tumbo mono adhesives or anything like this. I get like maybe 5 of them for $6. And they work just fine for me. Okay, so I love that. So I'm going to come in and go ahead and do, let me see, should I do these? I think I'm going to definitely do this one. Because I can put a quote in there. I could put a quote in this one too, but I'm thinking that might be a little bit too big. So in your scrapbook packs, you generally get pages where you have these cutouts. And I love them because you can use them in so many different ways. I really like this here. It's a little big to be there though, so I think I like it here best because it leaves this space open. And okay, I think I'm going to use one of these down here. I have pink, so I would like to use actually that one. I love that yellow. It's so pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one. But yeah, these, I think they're officially called cut aparts. So whenever you get your scrapbook packs, you will probably have these pages where you have some of these images, quotes, whatever the case may be, and it's intended for you to cut them out and use them in your scrapbooks. And I'm saying that because when I first started planning, I didn't know that, because I'm not a scrapbooker. I've never been a scrapbooker. Don't really have that much interest in scrapbooking, but I love paper of all types, and this paper is very cute, and so I like it. And I like scrapbook packs because typically the paper is pretty, and it's just a very affordable way to get different types of paper without breaking the bank, because you get 12 of these sheets. Well, I think actually I had 48 sheets. They're 12 by 12. Sorry. You usually get anywhere from 24 to 60 sheets depending on the paper pack size that you buy and the brand. So I really like that. I'm keeping it simple on the back. I am definitely going to come in and use a couple of quotes. I left a little space at the top because I wanted to use, I don't know if I really like that blue, but I guess I'm going to have to go with pink because the pink matches. So I wanted to use these long like quote washies up here, and it looks super good. Love it. And then a couple of quotes here and a couple of flowers over there. So I love this dream. Well, I know I said flowers over there, but I think I'm going to put this dream over here. Yeah, I'm going to put this dream going up the side vertically. Perfect. I love that. And then I'll probably come in with a few sparkles or something right there. Let me go back to my other quote sheet. Probably some of these gold sparkles. And find a lovely quote here. I think I like the Stay Golden, since I'm going to use gold sparkles. I love that. And there's enough room for a quote here of some sort. Let's see if I can find a little quote or something. Never. I love this. Actually, I'm not a teacher any longer, but I love this never not teaching because I consider myself to be an educator. I do still work in learning. I just don't work in K through 12 anymore. So I'm going to do that never not teaching. That speaks to me, as it should. And then I probably could have layered it with something, but I'm not. So let's get some of these sparkles and put them around. I don't have a ton of space on this side, but we're going to do what we can. And then I have a little bit of a sparkle right here. That looks pretty good. And then I would like a little bit of a sparkle right there. I might have to cut some of these. So I'm going to take my craft cutter on this one and just cut off this smaller piece right there and try to fit it right here. I actually don't know where this sticker begins and ends, so we will see how that goes. Okay, looks good. So we're gonna put it right here. And I think that's it for me. The only other thing I have to do to finish this off, guys, is to get my punches done. So I am using We Are Memory Keepers. This is a pretty strong punch. It's perfect for these one-off punches that you have to do if you cover up your you know, disc holes. So this is a little bit of an investment. I think this tool cost probably about 30 bucks. You can catch it on sale for like 20, 24 sometimes, but it is worth it. Okay, so let me go ahead and take my Planner Joy, and I'm just gonna pop this in. This is my spring cover, my April cover. Let me see if I can find a box in here. I think I might go with one of these gold boxes because I have gold on the other side. So I am just going to write April. Grab this, put it right here. And now we are good to go for the month of April, you guys. Love this. It is completely set up. This is my quarter two, or first month in quarter two setup for Planner Joy. Okay, next video, or not video, sorry. Next setup. This one is really quick, so this is gonna wrap up the video. This is my goals planner. I use the Hemlock and Oak, and I don't actually have to do that much to set this planner up for the quarter because this is a bound planner. I don't do any inserts. I don't do a ton of decorating, but I will show you what I do by looking at March. So in this planner, for each month, I come in and I do my overview and I put in my priority tasks and I write down the categories that I'm focusing on for that month. And then in the monthly, I don't really decorate it. I just use pen and highlighters, which I love the simplicity of that. And I put down my key activities related to those categories I saw on the first page. And then each week, I put those categories in my notes section, and I do the same thing. I write down the key activities, except I do it at the weekly level. So to set up this planner, there's just not that much to do. I do have a habit tracker that I use every week in the month, and I print these and cut them on my Cricut. Okay, so to set up my planner for the new quarter, April starts the new quarter. All I need to do is take my printouts, because like I said, I print these habit trackers right here. I keep turning it around because I can't figure out which way it goes, but I print these habit trackers and I print enough for the month. And so I tend to just sit this printout right here at the beginning of each month. So for April, I'll put it at the beginning of April, and then for May, I'll stick this in here for May, and then for June, I'll stick it in there for June. This way, when I actually set up my planner for that month, I already have my stickers here. Guys, that's all I do for this planner for each quarter. So that was pretty quick, and that's why I kind of rolled this particular setup into this video, because it doesn't really warrant a video by itself. But I did want to show you how I am using my hemlock and oak for goals tracking, and what I print to help me set it up. And it's not a lot. Habit tracker, and then I use my highlighters and markers as the months come to build out my monthly layout. And that's it. So that takes care of quarter 2 setup for my well-being planner, which I call my quarter, I call my planner joy planner, and my goals planner. So thank you guys for watching this video. I know it's long. All these setup videos are going to be a little bit longer than they probably should be, but I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for watching.